What's up, everybody? I'm Mosher from E23, and I'm joined by
Bryce Cross.
And I'm E23 executive producer Jacob Douglas.
The title. And we're here today
Throwing it out there
to discuss 4 award-nominated, Oscar-nominated movie, Get Out. And
yes.
let's get into conversation. Yep, right? All right, Get Out is nominated for 4 awards this year for the 2018 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Daniel Kaluuya, and Best Original Screenplay. So let's start in the middle there with Best Actor. Well, let's start with the movie in general. What are everyone's thoughts?
Get Out is my favorite movie of 2017. I keep a list of all the movies I see and I rank them in order. Get Out was number 1 for pretty much the whole year. Nothing really topped that movie-going experience. I've seen it about 6 times now. All over the course of a year. It's one of my favorite movies, maybe ever. It's incredible. It's crazy. It's layered. Everything fits together so well. It has a lot to say, and the context around the movie elevates it to another level. It's my pick for Best Picture, and yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
Bryce?
I've only seen it about 2 or 3 times.
I'm not
on that level of six times, but I would agree with you. Just the way how it's layered and how it approaches like social commentary, subtly in some ways and then like overtly in other ways, made it one of my favorite films of the year. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it deserves all the nominations that it's got, and yeah, really excited to jump into it.
Yeah. I think Get Out is the most original movie of 2017. It was one of my favorites. It's somewhere in the top 3, probably around 2. Yeah, like you said, with the screen, like the writing specifically, there's just so much of that movie that only gets better. As someone who has seen it 6 times, like you said, and I've seen it, I think I want to say 3 times at least. No, 4. I watched it once over break. Just keeps getting better every time you see it. There's so many intricacies to the way the plot's woven into, the twist at the kind of core of it that adds its central conflict only becomes more interesting, I think, the more times you get to see. And the reason all of this works so well is all the other moving parts. The performances are great. Jordan Peele's directing is so strong, and it's his first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Get Out it's a film. It's a good one.
It is indeed a film. One that exists.
Yes.
Out there in the universe.
So to kind of structure our further conversation on the film, which award do we want to start with?
We just want to start from the bottom, go up. So we'll start with screenplay. This is it's also my pick for Best Original Screenplay. Get Out's crazy, and every time I watch it, I think someone wrote this. And that script has to be extremely detailed because there's so many things that tie together without explicitly saying it. For a great example is the grandfather was an Olympic athlete who was beaten by Jesse Williams at the Olympics, and we later see him running. And it never says anything about that part of it, but that's something the viewer can easily connect because of how well the script's written, I feel like.
And it's definitely, it strikes you as one of those scripts that they didn't write A to B. They didn't sit down and go from page 1 to about 120. They wrote it, and then they went back, and it's like they were putting in puzzle pieces, going back until it wasn't something that was clearly easy to do. I'm sure none of these screenplays were, but Get Out especially comes across as something that was a labor of. Also, another thing that I think is really impressive about it is the tone they strike, is that they go from these really tense, scary moments to these very funny moments, and none of them come across as jarring. They all come very well paced and at the right time. Part of it through the performances of specifically Lil Rel Howery playing the TSA agent. So all of that is because
future star of
Uncle
Drew.
Uncle Drew. Yes. What are your thoughts on the writing and the screenplay?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you in the fact that I don't think it was written A to B, because there's just with the tone and the little nuanced things like the little details with the grandfather, and just with little actions that take place around the household that the different family members have, and the I guess, workers or servants have. And how they like balance the tone between comedic and serious. I find it very hard for somebody to like write that A to B, like be like, okay, like have it planned out from the beginning rather than just say, like have some bullet points that they just list and then kind of thread the web together. So I think that it's a very unique screenplay, and honestly, I would like to see it. Like, it would be something like very cool to see. So I definitely think they should take the award for best screenplay. Definitely.
That's a conversation Sam and I have had. It's like, it's hard for us to talk about best screenplay because we haven't read them.
Yeah.
And I doubt everyone in the Academy has read all the scripts. I think it's like 12 scripts they would have had to read adapted and original. But that's got to factor into it somehow. And I'm sure that this one's a great read. So.
As we will discuss with other awards, I think Get Out is deserving of other ones. I actually think Best Original Screenplay is its most likely category to win.
Yeah.
I could see it going to something more conventional like Lady Bird or even Three Billboards, although I might disagree with some of that.
If Three Billboards wins Best Original Screenplay, then something is wrong.
I haven't seen the film, so I can't say anything.
There's a lot of plot holes.
But in terms of writing itself, I really think Get Out is it's a strong contender.
And it's extremely tight, too, because, like, I brought up plot holes for Three Billboards. There's not a lot of plot holes in Get Out. There's maybe one. And that's how long Allison Williams' character kind of keeps the jig up.
Keeps the role.
And she's, you know.
Yeah.
It is a little kind of for the sake of the movie.
Yes, exactly.
But hey, I mean, if this is what we're getting nitpicky about.
And like the thing about the screenplay with this movie is that you have to nitpick.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a sign that's really good.
Yeah. And speaking of things you have to nitpick, and very few being there, is Jordan Peele's job as director, which he is nominated for among, I believe, Guillermo del Toro, Christopher Nolan,
Greta Gerwig, and
P.T.
Paul
Anderson.
Thomas Anderson.
Yeah. So very strong list of nominees there. Bryce, what do you think about that?
I think it's like really commendable that this is his first film and it's as strong of an outing as it is, because he's shown to really have like a strong understanding of directing, balancing tone, adapting whatever the script looked like, and just directing the characters. But compared with all of the other, the strong list of directors, I don't know if it's deserving of Best Director. I definitely like, again, it's like commendable and really impressive that is his first outing, I guess, as a director. But compared to all the other nominees, I'd be hesitant to say like that's deserving of Best Director.
Yeah, it's really interesting with Best Director. I think it's really going to come down to the Academy's taste, because I think all of them are extremely good for different reasons. Jordan Peele does a great job of, like you say, balancing that tone. I've heard stories of him directing the movie in his Tracy Morgan impression to get people lightened up after very dark scenes.
Okay.
There's Greta Gerwig with the way she portrays her hometown of Sacramento, which I think is beautiful. Paul Thomas Anderson, who, I mean, is Paul Thomas Anderson. He got all those actors to perform dynamite performances. And then you have Christopher Nolan, who, oh my God, Dunkirk is a revolution in directorial style. It's hard. My pick is probably Nolan.
As well. Me as well.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Peele wins. Literally, anyone who wins this award I would be okay with, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I think one more note I will put in there, something our friend of ours brings up a lot, is that most of these actors, maybe not so much no names, but very they're not stars, and the fact that he's able to get, and like Daniel Kaluuya got nominated for Best Actor, and besides a few Black Mirror episodes and some other like small roles, this is his big break. And
Right.
you know, when you think of the way those scenes are shot and the way the performances Jordan Peele gets out of everyone in that movie is very, very great. So I think he's totally deserving of the nomination, and it'd be cool to see him win, although I don't think it will.
Yeah, Allison Williams, one of my favorite performances of the year. Every time I watch it, it gets better.
Yes, for those who don't know, plays
the whatever
Girlfriend.
the girlfriend.
I forget her name.
Is. Yeah.
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 So speaking of Daniel Kaluuya, he is nominated for Best Actor, which is much like Best Director, is a very stacked category.
It's very top heavy, I would say.
That's fair. Is that a Winston Churchill joke?
I don't know. I think Best Actor is it's coming down to either Daniel Day-Lewis or Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman has swept every award, so I'm sure Oldman will win it.
The Oscars loves makeup and
They
historical people.
They do. Yeah. Phantom Thread's incredible, and Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible in it, but I think it'll go to Oldman. Kaluuya's great, but
he's not the best part of the movie either.
No, yeah, exactly. Like when people started giving him buzz, I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, I think there's other performances that were better, but then I watched the movie again recently, and I was like, okay, I can see it. Like that scene, like even when he's in the sunken place, that's incredible, or when just like those tight shots of him when he's being hypnotized and kind of the raw emotion you get out of him without him saying a word is really good.
And it's very easy to kind of brush off someone who plays just like a dude, but like he plays like that's a testament to his performance that he comes across as such like your normal guy who like much like all of us who were sitting in the theater like what the heck's going on? Right. What do you sorry.
No, but, I think you're allowed to say hell.
That is what Get Out is all these moments, and Daniel Kaluuya kind of sits in and a little bit of Ray. Wait, what is
Lil Ray Howard?
What's his character's name?
Lil Rel.
Rod.
Rod,
yeah.
Rod,
so both of them kind of play these characters like what's going on, but Daniel Kaluuya does a great job of performing it and giving us kind of that mirror.
And he gives like extreme action hero vibes at the end, where like I would love to see him in like a Die Hard-ish movie.
He doesn't.
I can see him do that.
Yeah.
I know for me, it was if I would have seen this movie only one time, I would have just been like, well, okay, he plays a dude, and then that's it. But upon further rewatches, like you do get to see like his stellar acting, and like when he's in the sunken place, or like when he takes a picture of that one guy. I forget his name, but like
Lakeith Stanfield's character.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield. Yeah. When he takes a picture of him and just his reaction to like seeing that change in front of his eyes, like it's not just like you're one of the mill, just like playing an average guy. Like there's a lot of, I guess like shocking and fearful like expressions and moments that he goes through, which are like really like keep you invested in like that character. So I think that like every time I rewatch it, like there's something new about his performance that I notice instead of just like being one note, I guess. Because when I watched it the first time, I definitely thought it wasn't that special. So as far as being nominated, I don't think he's the best performance, but I think that he deserves a nomination for sure.
So with all this praise being said, where do we think it stands as a Best Picture contender?
Like I said, I think it's my pick. And I think the Academy actually might go with it, because I think the Academy has received all this backlash, and they don't want to piss people off.
And here's the thing I'll say on that note is I want it to win regardless of the context. Because I think I love this movie. I mean, I think the part of easily what the movie is the social commentary, but that's great regardless of what year it comes out in. But I would love to see it win, not just because the Academy is trying to make amends for many bad years of history.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even that. I don't think that's because this is a film directed by a person of color or because it is about people of color. I think it's because this is what the people love. Like, if you ask pretty much
choice.
Right, if you give pretty much any person on the street which movie do you want to win Best Picture, they would probably pick Get Out. And I think the Academy has started to kind of flip the switch, and they're like, okay,
started to be more try and be more reflective of the people's choice.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely say like I don't want it to win just because they think that like that's what they should go with, but it is like very relevant and topical, and it definitely is like stands out as one of the best films of the year, and definitely the one like the general audiences gravitate towards. So I think it might get it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But yeah, so.
Just don't give it to 3 billboards.
Yeah. I think it is a battle between originality, which Get Out has just, oozes in originality, and just more traditional picks.
Yeah, but I mean, even Shape of Water, like a movie that could very well win Best Picture as well, is extremely original. So I think the great thing about this year's category is every single movie has its own thing that makes it unique. Whereas in years past, some movies are like, oh, it's just another period piece.
Based on a true story.
Right.
Yeah.
Every movie this year had something about it that's makes it great. And I think that's what's so great about this year.
And Get Out is great. Get Out is great. Go see it. And we'll find out Sunday at the Oscars what will be the winner in those 4 categories. So thank you for joining us. Tune into our YouTube channel, MUTV E23, to see the rest of our Oscar predictions on the Best Picture contenders. And until then, thank you for watching.